in the middle of the Welsh revival, and remember there's a guy, 26 years of age, and he's already prayed 13 years for revival. They wouldn't allow people to photograph him. The greatest preachers in England were there at the time. William Booth was there. He left his office desk to go listen to this 26-year-old guy. The greatest Bible teacher in the world was there. G. Campbell Morgan. He left his office at Westminster and came to hear this young Welshman. F.B. Meyer came from the Baptist church. They were all flocking to Wales to hear a man who was anointed in the Spirit of God. He comes into a meeting. The biggest hall in town had 800 seats. Everyone was packed an hour before time. And in comes the young man. Everybody's waiting for him to come. There's one seat on the front. He went to the front seat, bowed his head, and he prayed for 3 hours. What do you mean? Do you think our congregation do that? They say, hey, he's fallen asleep. For 3 hours. Until he felt the rich enough. Then he stood up and preached for 15 minutes. The glory of God came down. And did what happened? Nobody dare leave the place. He went out at 10 o'clock and prayed the whole night for the anointing for the next day.
They discovered a group of people, underground people, who've been praying 20 years for revival. No man, I don't care how colossal your intellect, no man is greater than his prayer life. To stand before men on behalf of God is one thing. To stand before God on behalf of men is something entirely different. You see, we want a revival, a painless Pentecost. We want something that won't disturb our status quo. There never has been a revival that I can trace that hasn't been bedded back there with true intercession.
That the trial of your faith being much more... You see, it switches from temptations. You can get over temptation in 30 minutes, maybe 30 seconds. What about the trial of your faith? The trial of his faith. I can't get over Solzhenitsyn. Do you remember what he says? It was in a prison camp where urine was running down the side of him on a bed of rotting straw. The man across at the other side in the prison would reach down in his ragged clothes and take out strips of paper and uncurl them and read them and roll them up and put them back again. And he said he was the most wonderful man in prison. But the guards beat him more than anybody else. They gave him the hardest jobs. They gave him the least food. They made him suffer. He was a Christian. And Solzhenitsyn said, I saw there in a man a living Christ. And when that man year after year never complained, he took those little scribble notes out night after night, and his face would light up and he'd fall back and sleep. And he said, when I saw a man living the Christian life, that made me realize that Jesus Christ is alive. The trial of your faith. When a man gets intoxicated, he's blind to everything in the world. He'll face anything 10 times bigger than himself, 10 times stronger than himself. He feels something else inside of him. Surely that should be us, when we're really filled with God. God can sustain me like he hangs the moon on nothing and hangs the world on nothing. And all he's looking is for us to be exhibitions of his grace. He wants us to be living epistles, that when people don't read the book, they read your life and say, how did that fella get over that difficulty? How did he get over that betrayal? And sometimes God doesn't take the pressure off.